So we are on our way to pick up, it's like 2021, or yeah, 2021, 2001 Subaru Outback, somewhere around that 2002 range, 01, 02, somewhere in that range. $500, and $500 cars are getting hard to find. These last few years, it's kind of non-existent to find a car that cheap. Now, there is a catch, and the catch is it doesn't run. So, I'm not too worried about it. Plan on just putting another engine in it. Maybe getting lucky, but we think it's a timing belt issue. Previous owner is pretty sure that's what's wrong. Something failed in there, and it is an interference engine, so any issue with jumping time or breaking belt, anything like that, and you'll get collision with the piston and valves, and you'll get some internal damage in there. So we think that's what's the case. But I got the trailer hooked up. We're gonna go get it, throw it on the trailer, drag it home, and see what it's all about. We're on our way there now. We're probably 15 minutes away. We'll get hooked up and drag it home. Alright, so we got it into the garage here. Just kind of checking it out. Went ahead, I got the hood off of it because we know at the very least we're doing some engine work to it. But here it is. Standard, cheap Subaru. No major damage. A little bit of rust right there. That's the only major rust on it. The underneath is pretty solid. Yeah, interiors leaves a little to be desired, but that's what you expect for $500. That's what you get. Headliner's dirty, car's dirty. Got some stuff laying around in here. They had the bottom of the dash apart for something. Yeah, tires, it's probably gonna need tires. Headlights are gonna need to be buffed out. Here's the other side, same deal over here. But decent little car, if I can get it running. I mean, for the price, we're gonna go for it, right? 4-speed, 5-speed, I'm not even sure. 5-speed probably. I'm not, excuse me, I'm not a major Subaru guy. Matter of fact, this is only gonna be, I think, the second Subaru I've ever owned. So right now the plan is we're gonna get looking into this. They had the timing cover off and they have the belt. I thought he was gonna throw that in there, and I forgot to ask him. When I went to pick it up, it was pouring down rain and I had to winch it up onto the trailer, so never got that. Since I was gonna replace the engine, most likely I wasn't too concerned about it, but I kind of want to check things first before I just go ahead and rip this engine out. I like to do my own diagnosis, at least to a point, rather than just take somebody's word for it and waste much time doing something I don't really need to do. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this and get the timing belt cover off, take a look and see what we can see. Alright, so I think I found the failure. So this is the water pump, I believe, and then this is the tensioner. And there's definitely something that blew out in that tensioner. And you can see remnants of the belt, where the belt was getting wiped out. Probably after the valves hit and it started to tear cogs off the belt. Alright, so yeah, the tensioner is definitely stuck in a collapsed position. So I'm going to buzz that off here and see what that looks like. Yeah, so this tensioner, this plunger was stuck. I freed it up, but it's able to move now. I mean, there's some tension on it, as there should be, but I'm able to get it to move. I had to put it in a vise. So I think that's what was up. Something was wearing right there too. So I think this tensioner failed. Alright, we got our belt on, finally. You can see down there we got the new belt on. We did put the new tensioner on. There's our tensioner there. Put the crank pulley on just so we can try this out. We're going to go ahead and just spin this over here by hand. And make sure that we can get a full revolution without any interference. First thing, I gotta tighten this up. We want to get a full revolution, and if I don't hear any clanking or any major issues, I'm going to go ahead and try to fire it up. Gosh, this is... There we go. Alright, so we'll spin it here. Oh, it's in gear. Take it out of gear. Okay. Oh, we just hit right there. So we're either out of time or we got something bent. But if it's bent, in theory, I would think that it would clear and it would turn. So it is possible that we're just out of time. The belt back on. I believe I had the crankshaft marks off, and I believe they're correct now. I had the keyway up in 12 o'clock position, which is normal. However, when I rotated the crankshaft 180 degrees, I noticed that there were other marks on here. I noticed there was another set of marks, and I think you could see, let me just get this light positioned better. Right below the crankshaft sensor, which is the piece with the plug, there's a mark on the casting on the block, and then a mark on the sprocket. So now I have that lined up correctly. I had the keyway up, and now the keyway is in the 6 o'clock position. I had it in the 12, which is normal. Usually the keyway is up on conventional engines. However, on this, I think it's supposed to be that way. I probably should research it, but I'm going to go ahead and try it like this. So we'll get this on and we'll give her a couple spins and see how we do. So getting this belt on and off, well, getting it off isn't a big deal, but getting it on is a little bit tricky. It's super tight. I've never seen a timing belt so tight. I don't know why they don't have a, and they don't have anything to hold the tensioner in place. So the tensioner is constantly flopping down. A couple idler pulleys. Oh, I didn't tighten that idler pulley up. I had to loosen the 2 idler pulleys to get the belt on. It's so tight. Jeez, I think I can get a... Yeah, barely. But anyway, so this thing is like an A. I give it an A for access. It's easy to get at this belt, super quick. However, it's a frickin' F to get the belt on. I'm sure if you've done a couple, it's probably not as bad. But it's a pain in the butt to get the belt on relative to how easy it is to get at it. Just tightening up these idlers that I loosened up to help me slide the belt on. Yeah, I've never seen a belt go on that I can remember go on that tight. Okay, let's get this off. I had to hold both the sprockets, and this sprocket on the right side is like under load, like it's a weird, I don't know. I'm not familiar with these engines, so it's interesting. I'd like to learn some more about them. I think I'm getting a crash course in it now. But let's spin this around. So far, so good. I think we've made it further than we did the last time. Yeah. Oh, excellent. All right, so that's good news. Certainly not in the clear. However, it's turning. I feel a little compression in it. Yeah, we got some. All right, so let's hook up our, oop, hit the camera there. I'm not super confident that it will, but hey, we're gonna try, right? If I can spend an hour and a half potentially on it and see it and have it be good, then I'm good with that. We'll just get everything out of the way and we'll go ahead and crank it over. Valves are noisy and it won't idle, but it's running. Alright, so we got this belt back on, we got it to start, we got it to run a little bit, and that's basically kind of what I wanted to accomplish. I wanted to be able to diagnose this myself. Having not known what happened to it kind of makes it hard to get you in the right direction. And I don't ever just want to take somebody's word for it. I'd like to find out if I can. And basically by doing that, getting that belt back on there, we've established that this whole left side of the engine is dead. I was able to take both spark plug wires off. This whole side's not even firing. I did a compression test on this front cylinder and that's completely dead. I know I probably could have just did that in the beginning, but I kind of wanted to take a look at everything else and just make sure it's good and fire it up and make sure there's no major noise, anything like that. So mission accomplished, I think, for that. And it didn't take that long, so I think it's worth it to do just to see where we're at. So it definitely looks like we got some valve damage on this side. That side is still running, you know, still firing. I'll do a compression check on that. I'll do all 4 cylinders compression check and then we'll end up just pulling the engine out. We'll get the heads off and see what we have, and we'll go from there. I was just planning on replacing the engine, but I thought, let's do this, see what we can do. Maybe I can minimize some expense. And get here, come here. See, my dog's over here playing around. We'll see what we can get done by saving a little bit of money. So that's the goal there. So we're gonna go ahead and get this engine out. We'll start on Trixie. You gonna help? You gonna help? We'll get this engine out of here and see what we got. Engine's out. No trouble. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to go ahead and get it on the engine stand just to make it a little bit easier to work on. It's a little tough to see, but I can see some definite valve issues. Flywheel we're going to replace also. It's got a little bit of some hot spot wear marks and also some chipping on the teeth. And I thought, well, while we're in here, let's just change it. I think a new one was 90 bucks. I got to take it off anyway to do the seal. So we got a whole gasket set for it. And then rather than get these heads sent out and decked and, you know, the valves done, I decided just to buy some remanufactured valves. Yeah, remanufactured heads rather. So we got new heads, new used heads. They're not new, but they got new valves seals. Everything was checked on these. They're good. So this was a good option and kind of not too pricey really. I think in the end it might have cost me about 100 bucks, but I have them. I got them here in like 3 days. Gasket set, we got new clutch and new flywheel. So I got to pick up plugs and thermostat. We already got the water pump and all that in the timing belt kit. So we'll go ahead and get it up on the stand, and then we'll get these on there. We do have to put the cam seals in these. It didn't come with cam seals, but I have them in the kit, so no problems with that. And they look good. Trixie gives a thumbs up, and we'll give it a run. Okay, we got our heads off here, and as expected, we have a lot of bent valves. Exhaust valve, intake valve, and I think every valve on these have been hit, intake and exhaust, I believe. The only cylinder that hasn't been hit is this one, and that was what it was running on. It's really amazing that this was running. But you can kind of see here it's touching on this side. Big gap on this side. That one's really bent pretty bad. Same with this one. These are also bent. I can big gap there. Since here, 3 of these all have the mark right there where it hit the valve. This side, this is the exhaust side. I don't see where the intake hit, but they did hit, they did bend, but I don't see the marks. Even on this one, you can see down there, we can see where the exhaust valve hit. So the exhaust valves, each one hit. The other, excuse me, the other, excuse me, the other side is the same. Good sign is the cylinder walls look good. So we'll get this cleaned up. And I'm happy I went with the reman heads now, because by the time I got done with these, sent these out, I'd probably be looking at the same price, if not more. Who knows? Depends on what I could get them done for. So I'm happy that I went that route. Originally, I thought it was going to be about $100 more, but I think in the end, after replacing all of these, it would have probably cost me near the same. So, all right, we'll get it cleaned up and we'll get this baby put back together here. And looking good, we got it, Trix. Belt's good, valves are good. We'll get the intake on there. We're in good shape. Okay, so we had to get the valve covers on. I forgot I didn't put the intake on to pull it. I did that in while it was in the car. So we're hooking the hoist back up. Get this hooked up. We're going to change the rear main seal and the flywheel. Oh, this head. I hope this head doesn't have a bad strip bolt there. I put this screw in, it didn't go in very well, so I'll put a little ANACs on there and see what we get. Yeah, we'll do the flywheel, rear main seal, Mount our clutch on there. Yeah, that's, oh boy. I know that bolt is good because that's the bolt I used. Yeah, let's go on. It's just, yeah, we'll get the clutch on there. We got our new throw bearing on. We did that earlier while we were waiting for some parts. So I think we're good. We're gonna get this baby over there. We'll get it off the stand here. We'll get it set in there after we get the flywheel and clutch on. Moving along good now. Hopefully we'll be able to fire this up here in an hour or so. I do have to wait for the, there's like a shield that goes over top of this timing belt. I believe it's to prevent this belt from, if this engine, if the car is in reverse and backs up, this is turns clockwise. If it turns counterclockwise for whatever reason, if it's in gear and it's moved, it could turn the opposite direction, I guess in reverse, and it could cause this to jump. So that shield, which was missing, now it's interesting enough, I didn't realize that, but maybe that was the whole problem with this. But that was missing, so I'm waiting for that to come in. I bought a used one, and I don't think it's going to be here for a couple days. So unfortunately, I don't want to try it without it. I might, and then just take the cover off. I don't know. I'll see how time's going with that. Everything has gone pretty smooth with this. The only trouble I had was waiting for a bypass hose that I probably should have realized I needed to get. I could have done without it. It goes from this tube down through the thermostat housing, and these back plugs or seals, back camshaft seals, which is weird they didn't come in the kit. So if you're doing one of these, be mindful of that. If your heads, which if you do anything with the head work, you're going to want to change the cam seals. The two cam seals on the front came with the kit, but these back ones didn't. So I had to order these, and then that bypass hose. Just one of those things you don't necessarily think of when you're, a lot of these are air hoses I'm not too worried about, but that coolant hose, I thought it was worth changing that. It's kind of in a weird spot down on the bottom. So I just went ahead and changed it. Moving right along here. Everything's going good. I don't want to jinx myself. But everything is moving along well. This is the guard, the timing belt guard that I was missing. So it came in. This is the piece to gap it correctly, and so I'm going to set that on there, see how that fits. I am not able to get this on there. Well, I guess that is on there. And this is only used, I guess, on the manual transmissions. The automatics don't use it. So it's, like I mentioned, it's related to keeping the belt from jumping off if the engine were to turn in the opposite direction. Yeah, so we'll just keep on moving here. Get this buttoned up. I have a new front pipe ordered for it. The front pipe looked a little rough. It had been previously welded, and I thought, let's just do it, get it over with. We'll get that on, and then get this thing fired up. Once I get it all buttoned up, and hopefully we're all good. We'll go from there though. All right, so moment of truth. Just about here. I just got to put the battery in. We have everything's back. Everything's hooked up. Oil, new oil. Got the new antifreeze in it. So now all we need is our battery. And I just got to find the battery. All right, let's try it out. Clutch pedal does not feel great. It's a little concerning. That's weird. Let me make sure I got this fuel lines on correct. Thought I did. Not smelling any fuel. Sounds fine, compression wise. Turning over good, but it's not firing up. Oh, I got plenty of fuel there. Okay, we are back. So I had the fuel lines crossed. I swore they were right when I knew that this was the line pressure. And I thought it was that middle one and it was the top. So I got the test light out because it wasn't even trying to fire. So I'm like, the timing I don't think is wrong. It was something else. So I thought maybe I blew a fuse or something during this assembly. And then as I was in there checking the fuses, I'm like, I don't smell any fuel at all. And I hear the pump running. So I came back out, switched the lines, and we're good. So we'll fire it up here and see how we are. Engine's running great. The power steering pump is whining. All right, it's running good. A lot of smoke, little smoke, a lot of smoke. But it's running good. All right, so I got to get the exhaust on fully. I'm waiting for the new pipe. We'll get that on and we'll get it out of the garage here and let it run a little bit, get some of the smoke off. A lot of that's coming from the exhaust, and then I think the new heads are burning off a little bit too. but we'll double check the oil, everything like that, and we'll go from there. All right, so we're back from our test drive. We got it washed. Test drive went pretty good. You know, there's a couple things that kind of showed up. The rear end's a little soft, a little squirrely. I think a lot of it has to do with the tires. The tires are quite worn. The transmission mount, I think, is bad, a little soft. And there's something coming, some kind of funky noise coming from this front end, like a stabilizer link or something. Nothing crazy. So we're gonna get it cleaned up. The headlights we're gonna clean, they're pretty cloudy. I don't think I'm gonna buff and wax it. There's Trixie sitting good there. But I might. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. I mean, this is just a beater with a heater, and I'm not too concerned with it, but I do want to clean the inside. I really don't like super dirty cars. I like it to be decently clean. And this one is rough. Let me get the key out of here so you can see there's a lot of crusty. It's not super clean. So there you go. It's, you know, an average used car. It's not terrible. It'll clean up nice. That's a wrap on our Subaru project. $500 car. Hey man, can't beat it, right? 500 bucks, maybe 3 days of work total, 20 hours, something like that. New heads, timing belt, water pump, all the belts, seals, crank seal, new clutch. It's gonna get new tires on it this week. It'll get it inspected and I'll start driving it. Solid car. You know, the body's pretty decent. The underneath is, there's 2 spots in the rocker panels I do have to fix that I didn't see, unfortunately, but I'll get those fixed. They're not too bad. I probably patch them, weld in some new metal and patch them up. They're not that bad. And that's it. You know, I think it's worth it. You know, I'll probably have 1,800 bucks into it by the time I'm done, which I can't find a car like this for that price. So, you know, 20 hours or so of work and 1,800 bucks and off I go. So happy with it. Thanks for checking out the video. See you next time.